Good morning. Welcome to another session with IBM's cyber resiliency demonstration and their team. Thank you so much, David Gates and Joer Bombays, as well as Drew Corona. We're looking forward to having this conversation about how important to distinguish between cyber resiliency and disaster recovery. And of course, we're going to do a plug for AI and how that's impacting the conversation as far as your storage is concerned. So I'm Angela Gibson with Abrahams Consulting. I am pleased to be able to host this demonstration. And so we're going to kick it off. Abrahams Consulting, as you know, we are focused on reselling of hardware and software. We provide niche solutions around storage, security, and networking, as well as staff augmentation to a number of the city agencies, Port Authority, and Department of Education, as well as implementation services. If you listen to this on the replay, please feel free to reach out to me at agibson@abrahamsconsulting.com. And David Gates, please go ahead, or Drew, you may kick off the conversation at this point. Saji from HPD, thank you for joining. We're glad to have you. And we're going to start right now to give you the overview.
Yeah, thank you, Angela. And I'm David Gates. I'm with the IBM Flash SWAT team. I cover the Northeast. I want to take you through what is data resiliency and how IBM and Abrams can provide you a proven solution to your organization to keep you up and running if you get hit by a cyber attack. So every business has safeguards set up to protect their business. So when a cyber attack happens, the organization won't be hit too hard or at all. The ultimate goal of the business is to be up and running fast after the attack. Let's start by looking at the way the average organization in the world tries to protect themselves and create a plan to recover fast. Then they start by creating a cybersecurity plan. It's designed to keep the bad guys out of their networks and data. Then they implement a disaster recovery plan where they make exact copies of their application and infrastructure. This is typically to restore or recover from a disaster such as an earthquake, a fire, a flood, or other natural disasters. Next, they create a backup and recovery plan, which typically allows them to completely recover their data in the event of a cyber attack or other recovery needs. These are typically housed at another site, such as an MSP or in the cloud. Next, they create recovery time objectives, which are service level based time durations. A business process must be restored after an incident to avoid unacceptable consequences with a break in continuity. They also create what's called a recovery point objective, which is based on the amount of time that passes during a disruption before the amount of data loss exceeds the business continuity plan's tolerances. These are typically referred to as RPOs and RTOs. So how do you test and check your RPOs and RTOs to make sure that they're accurate? It isn't easy. So basically, with RPOs and RTOs, everything is good until it isn't. When the boom hits or happens, you have to figure out a plan to move forward and see what really works and what doesn't work. So now the organization's been hit by a cyber attack. Can you recover immediately? If not, you must figure out a few things, what we call the 6 W's. The first one is, who did this? Was it an internal or external threat? You need to know this, because if it's an internal threat and you have bad actors working towards their recovery, things can actually get worse. What exactly happened? Where are you infected? Is it a company-wide or just a small area? When did this happen? Did it just happen? Or were you infected for months? Why don't we recover from our backups? That's exactly what MGM did in 2023 when they got hit. And because their backups were already infected, that set the recovery times back another half a day. And importantly, when was the last time your data was tested and validated? This is called the who, what, when, and where. If a business tries to recover before it understands exactly what happens, where it happened, when it happened, how widespread it is, and whether the data has been recently tested, trying to recover could set you back for many hours or days. However, this 4-hour window, at most points, organizations say they can recover within a 4-hour recovery time from their backups. But this 4-hour window is based upon assumptions that may or may not be true. It's based on recovering what we call the minimal viable company, which means the company is running in limp mode with only the applications and data needed to get up and running functionally. The majority of organizations have not set up a minimal viable company. The second assumption is the 6 W's that we have discussed previously. As mentioned, this could lead to bigger disaster. The third assumption you have to make: has the data already been tested and verified? The average worldwide organization tests the data roughly every 9.5 months. This assumes that you just validated your data and you're recovering completely malware-free data. Again, just tested and validated. But last but not least, it assumes that when you wish to recover, your bandwidth within your internet is at full speed. While this might be the case in the middle of the night, it most likely will not be the case during the workday. So, what's your recovery plan now? So you have to assume that everything is going for you, which is most likely not going for you well. What are the bad guys looking to encrypt first these days? The backup data. They aim to encrypt the backup data first, and then they begin to encrypt the primary data. And then they contact you and request a ransom. How can you recover if you have nothing to recover from? So although the RPOs and RTOs were validated a few years ago, the tactics of the bad guys, what they're using now, is probably not going to provide you any value once the backups are encrypted. So what's your recovery plan? The organization's business goal for recovery has been completely missed. So let's look at the way IBM looks at cybersecurity or cyber resiliency, which is ability to cover fast after a malicious attack. Again, it all starts by keeping the bad guy out. IBM has one of the largest IBM security practices in the world, but I'm not going to show you that because it doesn't require any IBM security software. We would welcome the opportunity to show your organization why IBM products are superior in the marketplace. The first step to getting the organization up and running after attack is to create the minimal viable company we spoke about previously, determining only the data applications that are needed to get the company up and running and making money immediately. Although you'll be running in a slower than normal mode, your organization after the attack is crucial to have the minimal viable company back up. IBM and Abrams can help you determine the minimal viable company if you would like. Now let's talk about the ability that nobody else has in the market. The ability for a client using IBM Flash systems to look at every I/O for possible anomalies. Using the IBM Flash Core Module 4s, we take 47 telemetry points per I/O, and we create a package of findings. The operating system of the flash system is called storage virtualized. It's also the deepest software-defined storage platform on the market. It actually has an inferencing engine in the process and analysis of the telemetry data and screens for anomalies using AI and other methods. If the data is good, we immediately make an immutable copy. We call this capability safeguarded copy. When the data is written as immutable, nobody can no longer write to it, alter it, or delete it. The key is that if it can't be written to, it can't be encrypted, because encryption is a write function. We will always make an immutable copy of the data on both the minimal viable company data, which is housed on the array itself, and to the backup site as well. By making the backups immutable as well, they can't be encrypted. So the next thing we want to talk about is encryption. This protects you from the ability to sell the data on the dark web, because it is rendered useless. And when it's encrypted, the bad guys can't access it to sell it. Important to note, the IBM Flash Core modules can not only do FIPS 140-3 encryption, but we are also the only storage array that can do quantum safe encryption. It is estimated by 2013, quantum computers will be able to break the current FIPS 140-3 encryption code. IBM has already made encryption quantum safe. In case the bad guys are ahead of schedule, why would you buy any other storage without quantum safe capabilities? Even better, encryption is done on the Flash Core module with no performance impact. The minimal viable company immutable encrypted data is then written to the Flash system in a fenced-off repository or a child pool on a physical array. So wouldn't you want to wish to recover as fast as possible after attack? There is no faster way to recover in the world than on the fastest array, which is the IBM Flash system. Many competitors offer the ability to recover from off-site, meaning hours to day, depending on what they know and how the data has been previously looked at. Again, we're kind of going back to the 6 Ws. The overhead on the array is fenced off repository. It takes about 15 to 20% of extra capacity, which means it's a bargain in the grand scheme of things. If the data could possibly be malicious, it is sent to Storage Insight, our cloud monitoring software, where it will be further analyzed using AI and other methods. Your SIM and SOAR will be notified as well of the malware. And then they will in turn initiate a playbook. Basically, a playbook says, if you see this type of malicious activity, do this. If you see that type of malicious activity, do that. The data is housed in a secure fenced-off repository for further research. When we clone a copy and send it to the clean room, which is typically nothing more than a few storage-rich servers which run your SIM and SOAR software on, IBM then recommends that you test and validate this data every 24 hours. IBM calls this practice CyberVault. However, we also have made an application-specific version for Epic, SAP, Oracle, SQL Server, and VMware, with more applications coming. These provide the entire CyberVault practice with no overhead for any applications other than the ones you need. This ultimately means your recovery will be even faster because it doesn't have to look at everything. It's just the application itself. Once the data has been verified good, the clone is deleted and then the copy on the array is made as a good recovery point. So what happens when you get hit? Your recovery is completely different. While the bad guys might be encrypting your backup copies, The data on the array itself is not only safe in an immutable state, it has already been tested and validated as a good copy to recover from. You'll be able to pull up your minimal viable company in seconds to minutes after the attack, and the company is up and running, making money again. What further benefits your organization is less data affected. Remember what happened above. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about IBM Storage Defender. Everything we saw here, IBM Storage Defender does for your backups as well. This means the backup data is tested and validated and recoverable faster as well. Let's talk about $2.1 million. What is this? This is the average organization savings and costs of recovery by assessing their financial risk before the data breach takes place. So how do you know if your company is prepared to be able to recover fast from attack? IBM, along with Abrams, will provide your organization the ability to do what we call a cyber resiliency assessment. This assessment is based upon the NIST framework and other worldwide frameworks. It begins with a short exploratory call, which is a phone call or a virtual Teams meeting. Simply put, we figure out who needs to be involved on both sides of your company and ours, and we get together and we talk about the assessment itself. We want to make sure that you have both a storage resource and somebody from your security team, since they typically don't necessarily work together for this exercise. You may see that we both have the same goals, or they have the same goals, which is making sure your business is protected and up and running fast after attack. The next we schedule the workshop itself. There is no software to load, no heavy in-depth questioning about core counts, rev levels, etc. It is 170 questions where the answers are yes, no, low partial, partial, or partial high. This takes usually about 90 to 120 minutes to accomplish. If you think a few hours is too long to spend to make sure you're safe, ask your CIO if he would be okay if you take a few hours to make sure your company can be both safer and more resilient. The typical answer is overwhelming yes. The next step will run the data through subject matter experts from both storage and security, as well through our massive AI database, which includes data from our IBM company called X-Force. X-Force puts millions of data points into their database every week on what the bad guys are doing and how. This typically takes a few days to a few weeks to finish. Lastly, the final report itself. The results are extremely easy to read. They're color-coded with the NIST framework. It provides your maturity level in each of the NIST categories. We also look at major initiatives that you can work on immediately and minor initiatives that can wait until the major issues have been addressed. We will also tell you where you are strong and what you're doing right. And this is important to make sure you understand your strengths and who's responsible for recognition. The report itself is non-technical, meaning you can provide this to decision makers in your organization who may not be as knowledgeable in IT, but they will be able to understand and identify what needs to be done to become more resilient. The best part is you can take this over and over again to see your progress. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Drew to provide a high-level overview of IBM Flash Systems and IBM Storage Defender. Thank you very much.
David, thank you for taking us through that awesome whiteboard exercise. Hey, everyone. My name is Dhruv Khurana. I am a technical representative in the IBM Channels organization. working with our awesome business partners like Abraham's Consulting. And as a follow-up to David's presentation, I'm going to be educating you further about cyber resiliency with IBM Flash System and IBM Storage Defender. I'm going to be talking about this stuff at a high level, and we're happy to work with Abrams Consulting for a follow-up at a later date for a more in-depth conversation. So data is constantly under threat by sophisticated cyber threats like cyber attacks, ransomware, and cyber warfare. And it's not just enterprise data or personal data or quantitative data or qualitative data, but bad actors are going after all data because data is what enables data-driven decision-making that I'm sure your organization today is doing. And data is also what enables things like machine learning and artificial intelligence and generative artificial intelligence. So bad actors know that if they capture that data, they're going to impact an organization's ability to make decisions and remain operational. So data is constantly under threat. And the one that, the one in particular that concerns me is cyber warfare, where bad actors try to bring down infrastructure, utilities and economies. That's scary and dystopian. So the responsibility of being prepared and resilient to these cyber threats is now becoming legislation, as we can see at the bottom. So there's a cost of not being resilient to these threats. There's a financial cost, a reputational cost, a political cost, among some of the costs. And unfortunately, the Fulton County government in Metro Atlanta earlier this year suffered some cost. In February of this year, Fulton County was hit with ransomware that affected the county's phone systems, their court systems, their tax systems, and their jail systems. Let alone using data to make data-driven decisions, they weren't even operational and unable to collect tax revenue. And as a result, Fulton County has now spent $10 million on upgrading their cyber defenses. This was in the news. So many organizations are under the misunderstanding that having cybersecurity will prevent the bad actors from getting in. They believe they can stop those attacks by building up defenses to try and stop attackers from getting to their data. But unfortunately, it doesn't matter whose cybersecurity it is, it's not possible to be 100% absolute. They feel comfortable that they've got disaster recovery to recover from in case there's system failures or natural disaster. But unfortunately, the combination of these two does not equal cyber or data resilience. Cyber resilience or data resilience is an organization's ability to recover from a cyber attack or other security incident or any incident where there's been data corruption and return back to production. Cyber resiliency ensures that even if a system is breached, the impact is minimized because essential functions remain operational and recovery is fast. Cyber resiliency gives organizations the ability to adapt to and recover from attacks. So the combination of cybersecurity and data resilience is what ensures business resiliency. Cybersecurity is about the prevention, the prediction, and response to cyber threats. Cyber or data resilience is about the risk mitigation, recovery, and readiness from cyber threats. It's not a question of, am I going to get attacked, but am I prepared once I am attacked? You can think of cybersecurity as a shield and cyber resiliency as a safety net. So to plan for cyber resilience, it's important to distinguish between minimum viable company recovery and full company recovery. The minimum viable company is the minimum amount of applications you need to get back up and running where your customers or end users won't know you were hit. The MVC are the key applications and data that's essential to your business. And it's probable that you already know what most of these primary critical workloads are, but we recommend using tools to check so you don't find something as simple as user credentials that are forgotten in the recovery process. From a data protection perspective, these will be the workloads you are probably doing high availability or synchronous replication on today to ensure zero recovery point objective, RPO, and recovery time objective, RTO. And to recover these workloads as quick as possible from minutes to seconds, you would want to keep these copies on array to deliver the fastest recovery. So on this chart, we can see that recovery speed and amount of data are key to business recovery. We've got time on the x-axis and capacity on the y-axis. The key takeaway here is the sooner you detect the problem, the quicker you can recover, so you don't have to spend $10 million on cyber defenses. And with IBM's cyber resilient solution that David did a great job walking us through, you can discover when defenses have been compromised in seconds, essentially in real time, and recover primary workloads in less than 60 seconds, also in real time. So let's take a look at a typical customer environment without data resilience. The perception is that the combination of cybersecurity and disaster recovery, that's all I really need to protect myself from cyber attacks. But unfortunately, no cybersecurity tool can be 100% absolute. So what happens if an attack slips through the net? Well, the first place the bad guys are going to go is to your backups because they know that's the first place you're going to go to. Then they're going to attack your production environments and spread that bug around multiple workloads. And for many organizations, the first they know about threats being in their data is when their production systems have stopped working or when they receive a ransomware demand or indeed both. And at that point, it's already too late. Now, this is an example of IBM data resilience workflow for a minimum viable company. At the top left, we can see production workloads running as normal. At the bottom left, we can see threat detection taking place, constantly scanning, sending the metadata to our machine learning in the cloud to understand if there are any anomalies. And then at the top right, we can see regular copies being taken of the data to ensure we have secure mutable copies to be able to recover from. And once a day, an application consistent copies deep scanned for threats in a clean room environment. And once this is completed, the same clean room is used for scanning the now secure backups and for both recent and aged copies. So let's see what happens. And then at the bottom right, we have in this instance, IBM QRadar SOAR monitoring the security status of the environment. So let's see what happens if an attack gets through the security tools and gets into the production workloads. Here, the inline data corruption has, here the inline data corruption, it's now picked this up and it sends an alert over to the QRadar system, which is now requesting an action. This is now following one of the predefined playbooks, and it starts the process of isolating the affected workloads, stopping that infection from spreading to other workloads. Once this has been done, it automates the recovery of a clean copy. It initially scans the most recent copy, and this one, unfortunately, is no good. So then it requests the previous copy. And it turns out that, once it does a deep scan on the previous copy, it turns out the copy taken at 1,500 hours is good. And this is the copy that's restored to the production workload that was affected. So now this clean copy has been restored to the production workload that was affected. Everything has been cleaned up. And now production workloads are fully operational. Operational disruptions kept to a minimum and affected systems recovered quickly. So IBM Flash System is a cutting-edge, industry-leading storage developed by scientists in IBM Research and Development and Micron Technologies. It uses flash memory to store, manage, and secure large amounts of enterprise data. A key aspect of Flash System is that it's cyber resilient. It's designed to help your business remain operational in the event of a cyber attack. Flash systems are also computational storage via a key component called FlashCore modules designed for flash systems. FCMs utilize the NVMe protocol and PCI interface to deliver high throughput and low latency, making them suitable for enterprise environments. So some benefits of flash system are high performance. Flash systems use fast flash memory, which is much faster than SSDs. This allows for quick data access and reduced latency necessary for mission critical Workload recovery, they're resilient. Flash systems create and store immutable, isolated, encrypted snapshots called safeguarded copies that you can recover from in the event of a cyber attack or data corruption. And the flash core module itself are physically resilient. No flash core modules have ever worn out in the history of flash system. Interoperability, meaning the flash system plays nice with other vendor storage technology. One, flash systems come with a powerful software called IBM Storage Virtualize that allows you to pool different storage mediums to make it appear as if there's one storage device. Two, you can mix and match different storage devices because of the 2.5-inch standard form factor of the flash core modules. Flash systems are also hybrid cloud, multi-cloud integrated. Flash systems are, they're compatible with various cloud environments, allowing for seamless data movement and management across on-prem and cloud platforms, thereby enabling data accessibility. And then flash systems are future-proof because of its data reduction capability. Flash systems use compression and deduplication to reduce the amount of storage space needed, meaning more data stored in less space, resulting in lower total cost of ownership and improves efficiency. And finally, sustainability. Flash systems require less power, less cooling, less space, leading to less cost than competitors in the market. So these are the features of the flash system product. And the way to read this chart is that as you move from left to right, the product line increases in capability and capacity. And at the top, Storage Virtualize and Storage Insights are the software operating environments that come with all flash systems. Storage Insights is a software that allows users to monitor, analyze, and manage their flash system storage. And Storage Virtualize is a software that allows users to manage their storage environments, especially when it comes to managing multiple storage devices. Now I want to drill down into the safeguarded copy feature of the IBM Flash system. This is a key feature of the IBM Flash system, where what it does is it automatically creates regular immutable copies of your point-in-time snapshots of your data. These are isolated, they're kept offline by design, and since they're kept on array, it allows for quick restore. And then another feature I want to drill down to is ransomware threat detection. So ransomware analysis is computationally intensive. And this is where IBM's Flash Core Module 4 is a true differentiator that delivers an amazing amount of value to companies. Each FCM4 has a low-power ARM processor capable of analyzing every single data read and write for over 47 different ransomware statistics. This is all done in line with zero impact to performance. Every 2 seconds, the FCM4 sends a summary of the statistic, the storage virtualized software stack that is running on the flash system controllers. No other vendor is capable of this because they don't have the ability to collect all these statistics on a per IOP basis. FCM4 then applies artificial intelligence on these signals to detect threats to give users insights and actionable intelligence. Now, IBM R&D has scientists that have worked with Micron, the flash chip manufacturer, at the electron level. These scientists are going further than the microscopic level and dealing with atoms and molecules to make flash better. IBM Research was able to program the flash to get nearly the same endurance from QLC that TLC is capable of. They found a way to program 20% of the QLC flash to perform at SLC speeds, and no other storage company is working with the flash chip itself besides IBM. And as a result, IBM, unlike many competitive products, with data reduction does not shut off during peak workloads, causing need to buy additional capacity to compensate for unreduced data. And another innovative feature of IBM Flash System is quantum safe encryption. Flash systems utilize quantum-safe cryptography algorithms designed to protect data against potential attacks from future powerful quantum computers, which could potentially break traditional encryption methods currently in use. Quantum-safe encryption is a way to secure data even when quantum computing technology advances significantly. The IBM Cyber Recovery Guarantee is a commitment by IBM that ensures businesses can recover their data from an immutable snapshot within 60 seconds or less, specifically designed to help organizations quickly bounce back from ransomware attacks or other cyber incidents by providing fast access to clean, uncompromised data stored on their IBM Flash System storage array, essentially guaranteeing a rapid recovery time in the event of a cyber incident to minimize downtime, enhancing cyber resilience, and ensuring business continuity. And to complement our Flash System product, we have a software as a service called IBM Storage Defender. Defender provides integrated data resiliency through three main functions: early detections, data management, and fast and safe recovery. Let's start with early detection. Defender monitors signals across your infrastructure. This includes hardware, primary storage, backup storage, and threat detection systems. And by correlating these signals, defenders can identify potential issues or threats early on, preventing minor anomalies into turning into major problems. This is enhanced by Defender's use of AI in correlating these signals. Next, data management is a key component of Defender by setting a resiliency standard across your entire data environment. This involves creating immutable copies of primary files and volumes, as shown in this diagram. Again, immutable safeguarded copies being secure, unchangeable versions of your data that are stored separately so they remain protected from tampering or corruption. And then finally, fast and safe recovery. If recovery is needed, Defender enables access to trusted copies of your data. These copies go through scanning and cleanroom testing before they're restored, ensuring only clean, uncompromised data is brought back into your live environments. This functionality is enhanced by Defender's use of automation in restoring clean copies of your data. So in summary, Defender complements Flash System by adding a powerful layer of protection and resiliency. The Cyber Resilience Assessment is a free of charge IBM funded service where we'll have a general conversation with you about your cyber resilience situation so you can get a better understanding and more visibility of where you stand with cyber resilience. We'll take you through a series of questions, and using a response to these questions, we'll do an analysis to better understand your cyber resiliency, and then afterwards we'll present to you our findings and recommendations. That said, your cyber resiliency situation is as important to us as it is as much as it is to you. So we'd love for each of you to take advantage of this free IBM offering. As I conclude this presentation, I want to leave you with these important questions to consider. Think of them as a cyber resiliency checklist. Abrahams Consulting and IBM are committed to working alongside you, ensuring your organization is fully prepared for whatever challenges may arise. The CRAT is one of many tools we offer to help you understand and strengthen your cyber resiliency position. I also encourage you to think about these questions. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to moving together to build a resilient cyber defense for your business.
Thank you so much, Drew, and thank you, IBM. You may hear a little background noise, but I just want to say thank you for everyone who attended today. The conversation is a worthy one to have because it's not a matter of if, but when you'll be needing to get back up from a fall, because ransomware is here to stay. And so we want to stress the importance of taking advantage of this CRAT assessment. It's IBM funded, so take advantage of it. Other agencies have, and it's proven to bring great value. Again, when you fall down, getting up quickly is what's important. And that's essentially what we're preparing you to do, because again, it's not a matter of if, it's when. That you will need to be able to show your resiliency and also to make sure that your reputation and your financial situations, your applications are not impacted when they're impacted, that you can get back up from the impact quickly. So please take advantage, call and schedule an appointment. Abrahams Consulting will not only help you with hardware, software, staff augmentation, CRAD assessments like this one, other niche solutions. We really run the gamut to provide you with the technical assistance you need. So please go ahead and reach out to me at agibson@abrahamsconsulting.com, or you can call me at 718-979-1371. Thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you again, IBM team. We are so happy to be able to work with you to bring these solutions to the city agencies and higher education institutions. Have a great day. Bye-bye.